Hi, this is Lucy, your clarity coach, and this is Tuesday Talks at 3. Happy new 2024 to each and every one of you. Thank you for coming back for yet another year of impact on self-improvement, on personal development, and on mental health awareness. It is so good to have you here with me today, and I am so encouraged that we will be able to have another few months ahead of us of just learning. Well, goal setting in general is trending at the moment. You will find that everybody is talking about it one way or the other. We may still be calling it New Year's resolutions, but whatever it is goal setting, because it is an idea that you have put down and you have perhaps intentionally said that you are going to activate it. So that is goal setting. But today I am here to talk to you about personal goal setting. You may ask, Lucy, is there a difference? Well, I try to say and draw a difference between the two because I find that goal setting is general. It covers many aspects of perhaps your life, the external, the internal. But personal goal setting, becomes, like we say, personal. It becomes about you and what you want to get done for you. So it's not about other people's goals that you are then aligning yourself with. It's about you. And it involves identifying and defining meaningful objectives to work towards. It's like it gives you a map, a compass, a guiding light. It tells you this is where I want to go. So in any situation that you get into and you come across other goals, objectives, aspirations, you're able to stop and just ask yourself, how does this align to what I am hoping to achieve over the same period? You can then have some informed decision making on your part. It just makes it that better, but I get ahead of myself. This series of the setting your goals in 2024 and realistic goals at that, is exploring 4 specific areas. Now, the first area is clarity for impact. Clarity for impact. When something is very clear, then you understand what is expected of you and of others and of the situation around you. So clarity for impact just suggests that you need to know your why, in short, so that in every place that you show up, you know why you're showing up there and how you're showing up, perhaps the becoming of you. The second episode will be about aligning life objectives, because here we are having these personal goals, but then are we tying them into life objectives? And when I say life objectives, yes, it's about you and other people and what is evolving around you. Are you aligning yourself to this, or are you aligned, or are they aligned? Well, that is what episode 2 is going to be about. It's going to be about looking at strategies on how to put this all together, because you are the constant person in all this that is happening. You are the constant person. You're the one person that you can count on. Therefore, you need to know what it is you're doing. Number 3 is cultivating effective goal tracking. Now, this follows very naturally. If you're going to sit down and draw up a map and start out, it's just like your GPS on your phone, and you've already put in the direction that you're going to or the destination that you aspire to get to, you need to keep on checking that you are on the right track. So this is effective goal tracking, and that will be episode number 3. It will be giving us a sense of evaluation techniques. Session number 4 would be about adapting to priorities. Now, many times in life, we realize that once we are out of the gates, we are so motivated, inspired to do this one thing, we suddenly realize that what we had put in as the first step perhaps should be the 4th step, and the 10th step should be the first step. So it's just a matter of adapting to priorities. What needs to be put first, second, third in that order? Maybe not even in linear fashion, I mean. It could be that you want to be able to put some excitement into your life and you want to take things in a different angle. Hey, it's your life, you're the constant. So those are the 4 areas that we are going to be covering in this Setting Realistic Goal series this January. I have a question for you, and the question is, what 2024 goal have you started with? And if I may just add a few more follow-up questions. Is it the easy one that you started with? Is it the more promising one that you started with? Is it perhaps the one that you feel obligated to start with, or that it is mandatory to start with? Is it the most difficult one because you want to get that out of the way, or you wanted to gain traction? Or perhaps it's the one that was already in motion in 2023, and now it's just making more sense that it's coming into 2024, and you're really not defined by seasons. You're just defined by your goal and the time management aspect of that goal. Well, whatever it is, I want us to delve into 3 points that I would like to bring up today that are going to help us bring upon the clarity for impact. And I do hope that at the end of this session, you will be able to have some takeaways in the same way that I'm going to share takeaways with you. So the first one is understanding your why. And I know we have heard this everywhere. We keep on being told, understand your why, know where you're coming from, know why that is your why. But at times, this could be very many words strung along together and not making any sense for us. Now, an emphasis on the importance of knowing the deeper reasons behind your goals is what we're looking at. That's what it is. Your why is just understanding those deeper reasons. Is it because it was emotional that you decided to do something? Or is it because it was FOMO? You didn't want to get left behind. Everybody is doing this right now, so you also want to do it. Is it because you saw that you had done a reflection and you could be doing better? Is it society that's telling you to do this? Whatever it is, it's got to resonate for you. So the emphasis on the importance of knowing that deeper reason cannot be overstated. It needs to start with you. And this understanding then fuels the motivation. It keeps you going even in the darkest of times. And you know, I am dying with this idea because this is what I believe. And you know, it's darkest before it's dawn. You know, all those things you may just come across and start giving you yourself some metaphors to keep you going. But regardless, it keeps you motivated when you know where you're headed. And even if there's going to be some bumps and valleys and mountains ahead of you, you know what it is that you want to do. And this gives clarity to your aspirations because now you know this is the path I'm taking and it is clear to you. It's not a matter of just changing tracks without thinking it through. So ask yourself, the one that you've already started this year, whose goal is it? Is it yours? How do you feel about it? Because we are emotional beings, and whatever it is we have set out to do, perhaps we need to ask ourselves, now that I've made this decision, how am I going to feel in the next, 10 months or in the next 10 years? This decision that I'm making today, if I was able to see forward that many months and many years, how would that make me feel? Because you are the constant person. Yes, you do evolve, but it would do you well to ask yourself, this goal of mine, is it really mine? Will I die with this story and fight for this goal as we move forward? And when things begin to change around me, how then do I respond? So it goes without saying that as we step into this new year of 2024, the key to effective goal setting begins with a profound understanding of your personal why. Personal why. Not other people's why. Not your company's why. Not the world's why. You need to start with you first so that you know how you're going to align yourself with or allow people or circumstances to align themselves with you. It is essential to dig deep and uncover the real motivations behind your aspirations, because if you do not do that, it will all just disappear like dust. And you may be left standing at a pulpit without any defense for yourself, because then everybody's going to shoot holes into your goal, into your idea. But because you're not motivated, because you didn't understand where you came from, it's so easy for you just to change your lane. I'm not saying, and don't get me wrong, that you cannot change your lane. Yes, you can change your lane, but when you do, also understand the why of changing that lane. So the quest is more than a superficial exercise. It's about connecting with your core values and desires. And I do have a program on core values that I do twice in a year. And you want to look out on my social media platforms. Core values then help you to know who you are, what resonates with you, how am I going to show up in certain areas. Core values are key when it comes to decision making. You will say yes based on core values, and you will be able to say no based on core values. Core values are personal. With core values, you build up to ethics, and suddenly your behavior or everyday behavior is informed by your core values. Now, your desires do come in, and desires here, please read goals. We're looking at the goals that you want to achieve. Why are they important to you? Again, understanding the why. Recognizing the why provides not only the impetus to pursue your goals, but also ensures that they resonate deep down. Have you ever been in a situation where you have people around you and there's a general consensus to behave in a certain way, but then you just don't feel aligned, you don't feel okay, your spirit is pushing back? That's it, it's your core values. You just don't feel that this is what you're supposed to be doing now in this season, and it is okay to step away. And when you do step away and questioned, you are able to come back and say, because of my why, and my why is X, Y, Z. Have you ever been in that situation? Well, if you haven't, you want to be looking out for it now, because now that you've heard it, you're going to be seeing it all over the place. And I do wish you well, that you'll be able to choose you and not what others expect of you, only in line of alignment with them perhaps, but knowing what you want. It's the clarity from this understanding that acts as a guiding light, not that beacon that the shipmen look for. That beacon for you is that why, and in this case, the why coming from your core values. But it also ensures that you know your true self, self-awareness again. So important. This why is a big thing, and it's something that you need to pay attention to. Articulating what you want and why you want it is something that needs to come naturally. Listen to children as they explain to you why they're doing something. They are so open, honest, authentic, and they just give it to you without any bias. But as we grow older, we start having other ideas in our minds and we start doubting ourselves. And therefore, we don't have the clarity. We tend to lose it. So this becomes the guiding light, then begins to fade away in your life. And that is really unfortunate. Now, the self-awareness that comes with this guiding light helps you to go even deeper and open up on possibilities of succeeding. You're able to see where you can go with this potential of yours. You are able to see areas that need improvement. It is a step that you do not want to miss. So owning your why then allows you to defend what it is that you stand for. And as you defend what you stand for and the pushback comes and the challenges come, you are able to still stand firm. And if a decision is needed at that moment to change tracks, you then know why. So that is your understanding your why, which is very key. The second thing I'd like to bring to our attention today and explore is effective communication skills. And again, you must have heard this a million times, if not more. Effective communication skills and communication loop only is concluded when you have feedback. Well, in this section, we highlight the role of clear communication to self first. Having that conversation with yourself about what it is you want to do and why. It is so important because in the darkest of hours of nights, you will be questioning yourself, especially when you have experienced failure. It then comes back and all these inner voices then come back and put you down. This is your own self-talk that is putting you down. So you want to be able to practice communication with yourself. And how do you do that? One very good way is journaling. Journal, put down your thoughts. So I want to do this, and this is what I want to do it. And if this is why I want to do it, this is what is expected of me. As you put that down, you begin to see the areas of priority, as I mentioned in the last session. You will be able to understand what comes first, what comes next, and perhaps what is obsolete and needs to be taken off. If journaling is not your thing, then you want to speak to a coach, because a coach then helps you on your journey. You are able to come and be in a space that is non-judgmental, in a place that is safe. So it's as though you're having a conversation with yourself, but then you have an accountability partner. And talking about accountability partners, that's somebody else you can also find. Find in your space, in your village, in your group, in your inner circle. Who is this one person that you would like to share this with? And let them be that bouncing board for you, so that you can be able to think things through with them. And they are not going to impose what they think is right, but more of honoring what your goals are and calling you out in case you are in a situation where you're not being honest with yourself. So you can have a coach, you can have a journal, you can have an accountability partner, you can also have a mentor. A mentor is somebody who's gone ahead of you in that specific area that you want to grow in. You will find that vague ideas quickly become firm ideas, and suddenly they become very possible. And the feeling, the elation that comes with it is close to none, because now you are aligned. It's something you want to do, and you're getting the affirmation from within, that intrinsic affirmation. So in 2024, articulate your goals with precision and honesty. Start with yourself, and then find somebody else that you can speak to about these goals and be honest with them. And this is effective communication skills, because once you start having the conversation with yourself, then it moves from your mind to somebody else. You need to go in and proverbially dot the I's and cross the T's, because now you're applying some meaning to it and there's accountability to it. The clarity in communication is foundational in setting and achieving your objectives. So you don't want to lose that. And again, I say, whether you are changing tracks mid-track or not, you need to understand the why. And then you need to communicate it to yourself and to those around you who are affected by this change. Clear communication serves as a bridge between thought and action, because the meaning that you give to that thought is going to be displayed in action. And this is where your action lists come in, and it's time bound. You're saying, this is how I'm going to do by this time, and it's measurable. These are things that you want. And this makes 2024 goals more accessible and realizable. In fact, they're actionable, so they're successful in one way or the other, because you activated it. It was not just a thought, it became an action, which now you're living by. So strive to be consistent and become that person that you want to become. That person that is going to be as a result of the success of those goals. And don't get so hung up at times about that destination. Pay attention to the journey, because in the journey there are so many lessons just alone for you to be taking part of and being able to use them to grow yourself. Now, when you're very clear and you're being that person, this sends that clarity for impact to your brain. And you will start to realize that opportunities will present themselves even more than they have been before. Minimizing sabotage. Only because you have been able to call it and say, this is what I want to do. That's number 2, which is about effective communication. Number 3 is overcoming self-doubt. Now, when we speak about sabotaging, is what I just said in the last session, this comes as a result of the realization that you are transcending. When you are moving out of your comfort zone, self-doubt and fear steps in automatically. We are all human. It's as though we start getting these fraudulent thoughts. In fact, it's imposter syndrome. When you start to feel that, is this really me? Am I good enough? Can I really do this? Am I just copying what somebody else is doing? Who's going to listen to me? Oh, I have experienced this so much, so often. And even now, I still experience it, even coming into the new year, because I am transcending. I am moving out of my comfort zone. Just knowing that that will happen helps you to manage the overcoming of self-doubt. It is important to use strategies to combat these internal barriers that cloud your clarity, because that's what it is. It's clouding it. Suddenly you cannot see what your why is. You need to remind yourself. You go back to your journal, you go back to your coach, you go back to your mentor, you go back to your accountability partner. So what would help you to overcome self-doubt it's a few things, but one of them is affirmations and positive talk. How do you speak to yourself? And when do you speak to yourself? Are you having these conversations only when you fail? Or are you having these conversations also when you have victories? Are you also having these conversations when you have moments of anxiety? And I mean conversations, you're not beating yourself down. We need to take a deeper dive. That is what we encourage, so that we can understand the root of this self-doubt and fear. Now, our 3-day procrastination busting program starts tonight, actually. And we'll be covering the reasons why we procrastinate. And one of the reasons is self-doubt, even fear. And we'll be guiding you on how to manage procrastination. And therefore, there's a lot of things that come out of that. And this is around the areas of clarity. And why do you procrastinate when you procrastinate? And spoiler alert, procrastination is always going to be a part of our lives. And so when we say zero procrastination, what we are actually alluding to is management of procrastination. Now that you know better, what are you going to do about those tendencies of procrastination? What steps do you need to take? So that's what we're going to be doing tonight. But for now, and coming back to our session today, as we come to the end of our session, as you set out on your sights on 2024, I encourage you to use strategies to confront and overcome those internal barriers. Search, seek for them, research on them. I mean, your best bet is having a conversation with another human being. And why not a coach? Why not a mentor? Why not an accountability partner? Because then you're taking the thoughts away from your mind. And these are people who are going to help you dispel your self-doubt, because the questions will be, how do you know that to be true? What is it that makes that concrete for you that you are unable to move beyond that? And having that exchange will allow you to have a deeper dive as to what you're experiencing. You know, your true potential will emerge. You will see it. And again, you will have the fear, but this time it's not the fear of failure. It most probably will be the fear of success. You heard me right. It could be the fear of success. But guess what? This potential is going to be illuminating that path. Remember the guiding light I spoke of in the beginning? It's going to be illuminating that path and empowering you to reach your goals. There's the fear of failure and the fear of success. It is all fear. Understand your fears. Get someone that you can speak with who will call you out when you are not facing those fears, or you're running away, or you're pretending and you're sticking your head beneath the sand, hoping it'll go away. So I am a life coach, and I am able to help you take this path. And if this is something that you're interested in, just drop me a message. Drop me, I am ready, or drop me a yes right here in the chat. In fact, drop me a yes in the chat, and I will reach out to you and we can start our conversation. So in conclusion, the importance of clarity in goal setting cannot be overstated. Number one, clarity is indeed an agent for impact. Because once you're clear and your goals come into fruition, you will be able to clearly see where your successes are, where areas of improvement are, and certain blind spots that you have. And that is where the opportunities lie. Number two, clarity in understanding your motivation so that you stick to your why. In how you communicate your goals to others is going to be dependent on how you've understood your why and how you're showing up. And overcoming your mental barriers is also going to be about how you've understood your why, articulated it with clarity. This just sets the stage for impactful and fulfilling year 2024. So let clarity be your compass this year. Let it be your guiding journey towards goals that are not yet achievable right now, but for you to be able to see that they are those positive possibilities out there. Embrace clarity, guys, and watch how it transforms your goals into impactful realities. And like I say again, if you need help, just drop yes here in the comments below, and you will receive a link to book your 30 minutes free discovery call with me. Well, the takeaways, it is another year of takeaways again. I've got 3 takeaways for you as you embark on 2024. Own your why. That is your guiding light. Own it. And if you need clarity on your why, seek professional help from a coach. Number 2 is be in the present. Be the person that you want to be. And by being present and being consistent and being determined, you will keep on being the person that you want to be. So if you need to change your narrative, then you're aware that you're changing your narrative and why you're changing it and what it will do for you, and you can speak to it. And last but not least, the takeaway is understand your fears. Is it fears of failure or is it fears of success? Whatever it is, I do hope that these 3 takeaways are going to be gems for you, or are gems for you, as you go into your 2024 with a lot of determination and impact. So the recording of this session will be up on our YouTube channel, LMC Consultancy, by this evening. Hop on there and please subscribe and check out our YouTube shorts. These have started in the last 1 month. Comment, let us get to interact. I'm opening up the community on YouTube shorts, and I do hope that we will get talking more this year. Other than that, our social media platforms continue to educate and inspire you, and you can find us on here on Instagram, you can find us on Facebook, on TikTok, on LinkedIn as Lucy, your clarity coach. Our 3-day procrastination buster training, as I mentioned, is sold out, but all is not lost for you. We've got the personal planning cohort 1, which is coming up in February. You want to look out for that. Let us help build each other, and until then, be kind to yourselves.